I've seen a lot of Tyson Fury fans on the internet over the past day or so since Joshua's win over Klitschko who are very upset. They're upset and they're saying that Anthony Joshua is getting far more credit for his victory over Vladimir Klitschko than Tyson Fury got for his victory over Klitschko. They're saying that Joshua basically doesn't deserve this level of credit because he struggled and went life and death with Klitschko, whereas Tyson Fury beat him handily without too much trouble. Now I'm going to explain why Joshua is more popular than Tyson Fury, because there are many reasons. The narrative among Fury supporters is simply that Tyson Fury is a gypsy who speaks his mind and therefore the whole world's against him. But no, people, it's actually a lot deeper than that, and the reasons are far more numerous than that. That is a far too basic explanation of what is actually going on. I know that there are certain circles in the internet in which it is fashionable to hate Anthony Joshua. And at the same time, there are certain circles where it's fashionable to hate Tyson Fury. But in this particular video, we're going to focus on the circles who are hating Anthony Joshua, who don't want to give him any credit for anything and want to criticize everything that he does. These kind of people tend to be pro-Fury and they like anti-heroes. Anybody who is embraced by the mainstream, or a lot of people embraced by the mainstream, they instantly want to attack because they think it makes them cool or something to attack the person who's mainstream. Now, for the record, and anybody who has followed my channel for any length of time, you'll know this anyway, but for the record, I like both Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for different reasons. I like Tyson Fury more as a character, and I like Anthony Joshua more as a fighter. I think Fury is a more interesting character outside of the ring and even in the ring than Anthony Joshua. But I think Joshua is a much more exciting fighter in the ring and not such exciting character. So I like them both for different reasons. But as far as why Joshua is so much more popular, why he's been embraced by the mainstream, why his profile is so much bigger, and why his win over Vladimir Klitschko is being hyped up for more than Tyson Fury's win over Klitschko. First of all, let's look at the promoters of both fighters. Tyson Fury going into the Klitschko fight was promoted by Mick Hennessy. Now, I'm sorry, people, but if you've got Mick Hennessy as your promoter, you are never going to be one of the big stars in world boxing. Carl Froch, early on in his career, was with Mick Hennessy. He fought on ITV with Mick Hennessy. And yet Carl Froch was literally unknown in the UK during those years. Even though he was a world champion and he fought on ITV, Carl Froch was not a household name in Britain. Once he left Mick Hennessy and joined Matchroom with Eddie Hearn, Hearn turned him into a quote-unquote international superstar. He did. So you got to be with the right promoter first and foremost. Joshua is with the right promoter who can give him the right profile. And obviously that promoter has an exclusive deal with Sky, and Sky push boxing more than any other broadcaster in the UK. More effectively than any other broadcaster in the UK, should I say. So that is a huge factor as to why Joshua has a bigger public profile than Tyson Fury. Then you got the fact that Tyson Fury is very outspoken. He says things which are non-politically correct. A lot of the things he says I agree with, by the way, but you have to understand that when you're saying these kind of things, there's going to be a backlash. The corporate world are going to turn their backs on you. And that's what has happened with Tyson Fury. Whereas with Anthony Joshua, he's Mr. PC. He don't want to say anything even slightly controversial. And therefore, the corporate world embraces him. They pat him on the back. They give him sponsorships, advertising deals. They put him on posters all over the place. He appears on game shows because he understands that if you play the game and you keep your mouth shut and don't say anything controversial, you'll be rewarded for it. And it's a simple choice. Do you choose to do that and get the benefits that come with it? Or do you choose to actually speak out and not get the benefits? That's your choice at the end of the day. I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong or what should or what shouldn't happen. I'm talking about what actually is. On top of that, Anthony Joshua in the ring is exciting. On top of the fact he's got a bigger profile because of his promoter, he's got a bigger profile because of the fact he's PC and he's got all this corporate backing who are using him as a poster boy everywhere. He's very exciting in the ring, far more exciting than Tyson Fury is. Excitement sells, knockouts sell, drama sells in the ring. Joshua provides knockouts, he provides excitement, he provides drama. His fight against Vladimir Klitschko was massively more entertaining than Fury's fight against Klitschko. Fury's fight against Klitschko was an excellent display of skillful boxing and tactics, but it was boring as hell. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Fury's fight with Klitschko was anything but a snooze fest, because that's exactly what it was. Are people supposed to get hyped over a snooze fest? You really think that all these casual fans are going to get hyped over it? Of course they're not. But Joshua's fight with Klitschko was a life and death, back and forth, seesaw battle, which had everything you could want in a heavyweight title fight. Knockdowns and ebbs and flows in the action. It was incredible. Obviously, that is going to resonate more with boxing fans and fans in general, more so than a 12-round snooze fest. So obviously they're going to be more excited about it. It makes sense to be more excited about it from an entertainment standpoint. And last but not least, one of the other reasons why Anthony Joshua has this huge public profile, and this is something which is not to be underestimated, is because of the fact that he is extremely popular with women. In my lifetime, I can't think of a fighter in Britain who is this popular with the opposite sex. I can't think of one. Whereas Anthony Joshua's come along and he is like the heartthrob of women up and down Great Britain and maybe even worldwide now. I saw Mark Henry, the wrestler, post something on social media where he said his wife walked into the room while he was watching the Joshua Klitschko fight and she was like, wow, who's this Joshua guy? Mark Henry was like, you know what, Joshua's banned from my household from now on. No more Joshua. So Joshua's brought a lot of female fans in, and half of the population are female people. So that's going to raise his profile even more, isn't it? So there are a number of factors here at play. There are a number of things Tyson Fury, if he wanted to, could do to raise his public profile. If he wanted to play the PC game and not say what's really on his mind and just go with the mainstream narrative, he'd be rewarded for it. If he was engaged in more exciting fights like he was earlier on in his career, he'd be rewarded for it. If he was with a better promoter, like an Eddie Hearn, rather than a Mick Hennessy, he'd be rewarded for it. So he can do things, if he wants to, that would raise his public profile. I'm not knocking him for not doing them, but you have to understand that when you don't do these things, there are consequences. Financial consequences, consequences in terms of your popularity, so on and so forth. So, yeah, those are the reasons that Joshua is where he is and Fury is where he is. And again, if you compare both of their fights against Klitschko, Joshua's was infinitely more entertaining. There's just no getting away from it. And people want to be entertained. It's like that line from Gladiator, where, you know, the movie Gladiator, where Russell Crowe's character says, oh no, it wasn't Russell Crowe's character, sorry, it was Oliver Reed's character, when he's talking to Russell Crowe about when he was a gladiator. And Oliver Reed says, I wasn't, what does he say now? I wasn't the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me. And that's how it is with Joshua. He might not be the best heavyweight in the world. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But the reason, or at least one of the major reasons why he's so popular, is because the crowd love him. And the crowd love him because he's knocking people out and he's involved in dramatic fights. Fury, on the other hand, his past few fights have not been exciting or dramatic. So it is what it is. Anyway, people, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's Hatman, I'm out.